Step number 1, I'm not going to tell you right now because if I did, you just wouldn't believe me. I'm going to help you do easy science experiments at home with your kids in 6 small steps. We're going to go in reverse order, start at 6 and work our way up to 1, and then you'll maybe believe me. Let's have a go. Okay, so step 6, this is do the experiment. That's the last step, can you believe it? Doing the experiment is the last of these 6 steps. Imagine this. You're in the house with your kids, you're at your little setup, might be in the kitchen, might be on the floor, you pick. You're having tremendous fun doing this science experiment, learning lots of skills, just bonding through science and creating amazing memories that are going to last forever. So how do you get to that? What's the step before that? Get it in your calendar. Step number 5. That means once you do this, it's amazing the difference it makes where you have already committed to a date and a time. Think about what will suit you and your kids and stick it in your calendar. Type it in, write it in, and that's that. And give it the attention it deserves. By treating it like another important appointment, you won't keep putting it off and putting it off. And tell people, if other people know that you're going to be doing this experiment with your kids at this date and this time, they can help keep you on track and ask you how it's going or if you're ready. But how can you put it in your calendar if you don't know how long it's even going to take in the first place? Well, best way to figure that out, step number 4, try it yourself first. This is a great thing, a great way to just boost your own confidence, where you're on your own, there's no beady eyes watching you, there's no pressure. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. It's okay if you make a mistake with the kids too while you're doing your experiment. That's totally fine. Don't worry about making mistakes. But if you try it yourself first, you can figure it all out as you go, and then you'll have a much better idea of how long it does actually take, so you can get it in your calendar. And you'll get loads of ideas of how to make it more fun for your kids, because you know them best. You know what they laugh at, what they might find a bit tricky, what kind of questions they're going to ask. So trying the experiment yourself first is really going to help in a lot of ways, and your confidence will just go through the roof. Or it'll get a bit higher anyway, but definitely do this, okay? So you're going to try it yourself first. But where do you get all the stuff for the experiment? How do you know where's it all going to come from? Step number 3, collect the materials. So where you get it all is basically look around the house. There's going to be lots of stuff you have already. Round everything up that's needed for the experiment. And if there's things you don't have, then the next step is just to ask other people, ask your friends. Your kids can ask their friends. You can borrow, ask your granny, share things. So, and once you've done all of that, then you can go to the shops for anything you still need to get. So it doesn't need to cost a lot. You've probably got most of the stuff already. I get a lot of my stuff mostly from the supermarket, some things online. But how do you know what you're going to need and what you need to collect in the first place? That's where step 2 comes in. Choose the experiment, okay? Don't overthink this step. Just have a look online briefly. It's easy to get stuck down the YouTube rabbit holes, but maybe just have a look in my channel, subscribe if you haven't already. But pick something that looks easy, looks fun, looks quick, and just don't overthink it, okay? It might well be that your kids have got some experiment in mind or something they've heard about or something they really want to try. That's what you do then. Decision made. Either way, don't overthink it, pick an experiment and then stick to that one, and you can collect all your gear, try it yourself, etc. But what was that step number 1? Right at the beginning I had said if I tell you before all the other steps, you probably won't believe me. What is the key to all of this? What is the most important part of doing these science experiments at home with your kids? What is the whole key to all of this? It's you. You are the most important part of all of this. So how are we going to kick it all off then in the first place? It starts with you. Give yourself permission. That's step number 1. Give yourself permission to do all of this. That can be hard to do. Life is so busy. We've got so much going on. Everyone's schedules are crowded. But think back to step number 6. You've already seen what what this can look like for you. So think of the fun you'll have, the learning you can do together, the skills your kids are going to develop, and just spending quality time doing these fun science experiments, creating memories that will last forever. That's what it's all for. But until you give yourself permission to do this, it's probably not going to happen. But remember, you are worth it. You deserve this. Your kids deserve this experience and this learning path and this time with you. So give yourself permission. So I know we've done the steps in the reverse order. So why don't you rewatch this video, pause it at all the steps and just write them down in order, okay? But I've got something else that can make it even easier for you to see what these 6 steps are to home science fun. I've created a free guide just for you that lays it all out. So we'll just click on the link in the description and you can grab it right now. Go for it. Have fun.